So I know I'm always the one, or at least in real life, I'm always like, that's rich people problems. Problems that I don't have because I'm not rich. But in this case, with Wendy Williams, man, I am super sad for her and her family. I was watching the Breakfast Club this morning. She wasn't there due to the conservatorship that she is under. And my thoughts about it is just like, it's basically the I Care a Lot movie that's on Netflix, where someone takes advantage of you and then they have guardianship over you and everything. They put you in a facility and you don't have any rights. I could not imagine, like, when she started crying about not being able to see her dad for his 94th birthday, I was just like, that's so sad. Do I think Wendy is at her full self? The rambling, yes. But certain stuff you can tell, like, Wendy had been through something. I do believe she did do a lot of drugs and a lot of alcohol. But I think, like most people, she was self-medicating herself. I mean, she got a divorce. Then her show got taken away. But before that, she got a divorce. And then her mother passed. And if you was a true fan, like, I watched her at noon. How you doing? And I remember, like, being a stay-at-home mom and watching her while I was raising my two younger kids through that whole thing. Like, it was even to the point where my son was like, how you doing? In a chair at Marshall's. But and I loved hearing her hot topics. She does what everybody else do. She covered the media, again, rich people problems, but it was in a fun way. But she lost her mom, and on the show she said that her and her mom was really close. Like, they talked every day. I understand, like, the divorce, but losing a mother, like, if you've been on my page, you know that I talk about grief all the time when it comes to your parents. Like, I don't know how it feel with a spouse. I can't even imagine losing my husband. Like, literally today it snowed really bad, and I remember my husband always say, babe, you gotta push that pedal, you gotta get traction with the snow. His voice was in my head, so I can't even imagine losing my husband. But I think the divorce was a lot. I think the TV show for Wendy was a lot. I think she didn't expect her show to go as far. I think she was happy with all accolades and all that. But as far as, I feel like she loved being a radio host, which she actually said on the Breakfast Club, like, the show was good, but I'm a radio personality. And I truly believe that and love that for her. But it's just so sad to know that even though she doesn't sound like her full self, but who would be? Like, locked in a room, around, not seeing your family, isolated. Who would be themselves? Nobody. So I just feel bad. Like, all the money she made and everything that she's done, she went from her husband taking and doing everything to then some stranger. And then on top of that, grief. Like, losing your parents, losing your mom. When people die, a part of you go with them. I know that firsthand. Like, losing my mom at 12. Hey, part of me, that innocence of me is gone. But I can't even imagine having a relationship with your mother. Like, my mom was taking care of me still, like my disciplinarian, this and that. But I can't imagine from the relationship turning into a friendship and you talking on the phone like you would with your girlfriends, with your mom all the time. And yes, moms give advice you don't want to hear, but that's like having a real best friend passing while you're going through a terrible divorce where your husband has a baby on the way. Then you trying to save face and look all like you're okay during COVID, where there's no audience anymore, but you're trying to save face for your image of I'm Wendy Williams and keep a show going. I cannot imagine all the people, like, trying to support her and her trying to be grounded in that. Like, that's a lot. But to hear her on the Breakfast Club and her niece advocating for her, It's really sad. That's really, really sad. I'm really praying for her and her family. I'm praying for everybody. We all going through hard times, but I hope to God I don't never be stuck in a conservatorship, especially if I'm rich. Okay? If I'm rich and I'm stuck, like, that is that. If you ain't seen that movie, I Care a Lot on Netflix, go watch it. And that will just give you an open, even though this one ended way, the way we wanted to end in a conservatorship. But for a person like Wendy Williams, I'm like, I wish they would have answered the question, how did this happen? And I think she was in a vulnerable place, and I think that's how she got swept into that. People love to come and, opportunists, they love to come when you down, you know what I'm saying, and take advantage of you. So I think that may have been what it was, but she didn't answer that question completely because she couldn't talk about a lot of stuff. But she sounded like Wendy, the whole rambling. But I'm going to pray for her and her family. I literally cried when she was like, I hope I get to see my dad on his birthday. Like, did y'all listen? And what y'all think?